It is important that these so-called Democrats understand this. When thousands of Nigerians die in hospital beds due to lack of electricity or lack of medication, it is a crime. They are responsible for these sanctions. They are responsible for these deaths. The same thing happens in Mali. With Burkina, we have indirect sanctions, because people have to understand. When they take their orders from the other side, they come and do everything to apply it. It is shameful. We are called putschists. We are not French. We do not understand what that means. And the local people, who surely do not even understand the profound meaning of the word, also call us putschists. Very well, we appropriate it. Over the years, as far as Burkina Faso is concerned, you may have noticed, all the bodies have been destructured. No more training, nothing left for the army. They imposed in all our major states, all our schools and all our strategic structures, what they called military councils. When we revolted on September 30th, 2022, the first thing was to find out who these military councils were and where they were. So we were able to identify that the evil was deep. And the first thing was to ask them to leave our army. They left. And what I told you not long ago, you cannot hope to find your lost object by calling on the one who stole it to come and help you find it. When we asked the military councils to leave, we felt manifestations. We were made to understand that we would not be able to get by without them. And every time they told us, it was translated by attacks on the ground. We received the message well. At the dawn of the year 2023, we decided to tell the foreign forces present here to leave, because we want to fight in Burkina Faso. They did not surely appreciate it, but why come and die on our land for us? We prefer to fight ourselves. We ask them to return home. Unfortunately, I tell you here today, as I like to say, colonization has returned. There are slaves of Ceylon who still have not understood. In the meantime, military officers wrote to us and approached us to tell us that it was a very bad decision and that we would not last 2 months. Files were written. We were sent these files to make a strategic analysis of their thoughts. We said either we are sovereign or we remain slaves forever. Indeed, when the last soldier left Burkina Faso, we understood what it was about. The attacks followed immediately. Dehao, Timnikov, Partiaga, and so on. But what they had forgotten was that the people of Burkina Faso had understood our message. And had engaged in the same way as we did. We reorganized quickly, and suddenly we noticed that all the sleeping terrorists had woken up in Burkina Faso. We reorganized the army as quickly as possible, At an unequal speed, we have created several units, and even if several others are yet to come, we have equipped them. And today this equipment continues because in the days to come, the months to come, what you will see coming to Burkina Faso must make our army a power to fear. We will not hesitate about the means. We understood that the fight against imperialism will be hard, very hard. But only the hard ones will pass, and the Burkinabés are hard, and we will pass. We have put on guard for more than a year the local valets, the slaves of Salon, so that they do not betray their country for the benefit of imperialism. Some have understood and organized themselves. Others have not understood. Maybe they thought they were smarter, but today we have no more feelings about this theft. Whoever betrays his country for the benefit of imperialism, he will be treated as such. Returning to our famous ECOWAS, since we decided to leave the ECOWAS, the slaves of Salon have been driven everywhere. They want to scare the people. They want to scare everyone. God, thank you. In a recent past, there were only a handful of people who had the right to speak. On the TV sets, that's what they said, who were ready for the gospel. Today, with the new technologies, which of course have advantages and disadvantages, everyone has the right to speak. And I think the Yayayes are the first to confirm this. Everyone can make his own analysis of a situation. We can certainly make mistakes, but when we come to understand, we are open to explain the process. Here we will explain to you why we left the ECOWAS and where we are going. Remember that it was in 1975 that it was created. And it was created for the majority of state leaders, putschists, as they like to say. It was the military who took the power and took the responsibility to create the ECOWAS, so that there was a real economic growth of the people inside this space. Later, the so-called Democrats were invited to the heads of our states. They completely emptied the community of its foundation. When on June 26, Nigeria decided to take its destiny into its own hands, we were surprised to see the ECOWAS appear on June 16th with a force in weight. Where was this force? When thousands and thousands of Nigerians were killed by terrorists. Where was this force? When thousands of Malians and Burkinabés died under the bullets of terrorists. They said that by force they were going to house the valiant sons of Nigeria who took the destiny into their own hands. Do you believe that these are women who are in Nigeria? There are fighters there. The Nigerian army is a warrior. It has been fighting for years. It is not a parade army or a peacekeeping army. And the armies of the ECOWAS have decided to unite. We are waiting for this force in weight. It is important that these so-called Democrats understand this. When thousands of Nigerians die in hospital beds due to lack of electricity or lack of medication, it is a crime. They are responsible for these sanctions. They are responsible for these deaths. The same thing happens in Mali. With Burkina, we have indirect sanctions, because people have to understand. When they take their orders from the other side, they come and do everything to apply it. It is shameful. Some have decided not to provide electricity to our countries. It is not free. We pay, and it contributes to their economy. They have tried to make Mali suffer. And of course, by ignoring all the texts and not providing electricity to Mali, hoping that the population would revolt. It does not work. When it lasted, some were forced to make their own people pay by increasing the cost of electricity. It will increase again. This gives us several lessons. Several lessons in the sense that the independence we take, the sovereignty we take, we must do everything for it to be. They have given us very good lessons, and we have understood very well. Some have closed their ports, which goes against all international texts, because we cannot close our ports in a landless country. They did it. They violated the text. The international community did not say a word. No one spoke in the Saudi Arabia. But in their ports, we do not transfer our goods for free. We pay. And those who do it collect today their broken skin. And I think it is a lesson for them too, that we should not always apply the instructions of their masters. They must understand it forever. The Saudi Arabia has never made a statement to congratulate a victory of our armies. Barely, they condemn from the tip of their lips. And very rarely when there are massacres, or when it happens outside the people. In short, we cannot cite all the harm that has been done to our people. But we have decided with all our heart and conscience to withdraw and to focus on our common organization. And that is the IAS. Remember that there is no fear. Because in prospecting and putting us to work, we have noticed one thing. Recently, some have decided to ban the exportation of certain food products to Burkina Faso. Very well, they have given a deadline. We will ensure that at the end of this deadline, we will prohibit the entry of these products on our territory. Thomas Sankara said that the slave who is not able to assume his revolt does not deserve to be pitied on his fate. This slave will only answer for his misfortune if he is deluded by the suspicious condescension of a master who claims to surpass him. Only the struggle liberates. And I want to tell you that if in order to be liberated, a slave is deluded by the providence of a belief that his master has imposed on him to keep him in the darkness, he puts his finger in his eye. He will remain blind forever in the darkness and will never see the day. God himself said that God does not like the lazy. God does not like the ignorant. God does not like the one who does not fight, because he says, help you, and the sky will help you. And I will not pass in silence a part of the slogan of the pioneers who live among us today. Dare to fight, know how to win. We have dared to fight in the U.S. and we will be victorious. Do not be afraid. The old citizen you have hired is a message to all of Africa. Burkina Faso is supportive and supports all the people of Africa who suffer martyrdom. But we also want to say that it is time for Africans to stop pitying their fate, to mourn, to lament. We have to fight. It will not come from heaven alone. We have to fight first, and God will help you. And Burkina Faso is ready to help all the people who suffer martyrdom. Tell all these people who are fighting, it is time that they tell the truth to their leaders. In Burkina Faso, when they acted for us to contribute so that the FDS is equipped, the deputies no longer have a salary today. They only have pensions. The salaries of the ministers have been reduced to the maximum, and the people contribute. You cannot fight and want the leaders to be in an insulting luxury. The people must wake up and demand that of their leaders. And to finish, I therefore call on all the people of the U.S., through you, so that they remain united and united. All suffering has an end. The struggle that we have engaged in is hard. But we must keep our heads on our shoulders, because the fatal weapon of imperialism remains the manipulation through communication. Know how to recognize the local ballets. Know how to recognize the slaves of the salons. Know how to recognize everything that we owe you to come and sell you false information. For yourself, stay calm and do not divide yourself. Because imperialism has 1,000 tricks up its sleeve. You must be vigilant. Vigilant and very vigilant. Thank you, the VDP of the different cities that watch day and night so that our country remains standing, and therefore pay tribute every day to the FDF and VDP who fight on the front. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to all those who have moved here so that we can entertain you. Thank you to those who are outside, who have not been able to access the homeland where death awaits you.